DJ will kick the floor in 3, 2, 1.
On the troll.
Oh, yes. Hello and welcome back to Mzansi. We're back. It is that time of the month and any day. And everything is just happening. Well, we did discuss the issue of she, right? Didn't we? I'm sure you guys were not, so you're not surprised because we did discuss that. It might be
you did predict it correctly.
Someone that is a he. And indeed, it was a he, and we did gravitated towards GWABINI. And indeed, it was GWABINI. Yeah, and then you guys were guessing it could be a girlfriend and Bali and all that, and which is good. I mean, it's good. It threw you guys off, but not so much from my side. I just had that hunch that it was it was a he, right? So fortunately for me, my guessing is still coming all right. Okay, let's come to the issue now at hand, which is what is happening in that court. And without further wasting any time, I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to say over to you, Emily, and greetings to everyone who's coming through as you press that like button so that we don't labor on that one of pressing the like button and wasting a lot of time trying to remind you to press the like button. Please remember at the beginning to press the like button.
Yes.
Yes.
What's up, Mr. Radamas?
No, I'm looking at which is Namang. Okay, we did talk about GWABINI.
Yes, we did.
We did talk about GWABINI.
Mr. Anonymous correctly predicted that it was going to be GWABINI was going to come and testify, while the rest of us were still stuck at Mrs. XX, thinking it's a female, and it was going to be Mbali, the one who had access to accused number one's cards. Yes.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, bringing Mbali, I think I in my assumption, Mbali is out of touch by now.
How so?
I don't think Mbali is still a girlfriend at this point in time.
She's the baby mama.
She's just a baby mama, right? And
at the time, she still was. It's just that the difference was they were in a relationship. We're not sure if they're still in a relationship.
I doubt is part of that now. And to take that person in and teach them, and I mean, go through the whole process of what Moses has said. Which in my opinion, some of it is there as a form of defense. So yeah, bringing Mbali, it's not a good option, right? Beside that, that's beside the point. We're here manje phakathi ake sikhulume manje ngoGWABINI ngoba ngiyaphika ukuthi GWABINI uye besimcabangile. Awuke sikhulume ngayo GWABINI ke manje.
I finally got to hear from GWABINI, the special witness in this case, that the state has heavily said that they relied on what he allegedly told Brigadier Gininda. Remember, before Absalom Zungu's statement was introduced, and then there was a time Brigadier Gininda was asked as to how exactly did he arrive at the conclusion that there were that there was not a robbery gone wrong, but there was a hit. And then he said there were many statements that they took before Absalom Zungu, and amongst those statements, GWABINI's statement was also used that led them to Absalom Zungu.
So he was at pain to bring GWABINI.
Yes, he created that impression that GWABINI was a state witness who needed to come to court and testify. And we have been anticipating him for quite some time. Some of us who've been following this case.
We've been saying that GWABINI is going to come.
Yes, we
have
needed
been
to hear
saying,
his side of the story.
I don't care what you ban us pick side. We've been saying that GWABINI after hearing, in other words, after hearing ukuthi GWABINI is actually a relative of one of the accused.
Yes.
That noma ngakuthiwa ucashile, he's coming.
And today we got to hear interesting stuff. The fact that he was also arrested. The fact that they tortured him as well. The fact that that case in itself, Brigadier Kininda did not talk about it. His arrest was not talked about. The shady way that he claims they arrested him by putting firearms under his mattress and then taking that firearm and putting it in a shiny plastic bag. Oh my God. Wow. And they planned for this man to be a witness?
Yebo.
A state witness? Sure. I was overwhelmed with his testimony. But before we get into it, this new witness was expected to take the stand, and we thought it was going to be Miss XX in the trial this morning. However, Advocate Nisi surprised us today by calling Sfiso Zungu, who's also referred to as GWABINI, as his next witness. Now, a little background on Sfiso Zungu. He was the one who was first brought up by Constable Sizwe Zungu as someone he spent a lot of time with and was also with on the 26th of October 2014 at Basutung Hostel. He portrayed the relationship with GWABINI as a close one, like they were buddies and also relatives, and he was calling him uncle, all of that. The way he portrayed the relationship, he created the impression that him and GWABINI are quite close. So Constable Zungu placed him as a dodgy character dealing with arms and also implicated him in the death of Snako. Saying that he asked him about a revolver they threw in a river that shot Snako, and we have since learned that Snako is deceased. And GWABINI was also brought up by Brigadier Kininda in his testimony. He said GWABINI was going to be the state witness to implicate all the 5 accused in the death of Senzo Meyiwa. Now, he also claimed that the statement that he got from GWABINI, he got it before he got the one of Absalom Zungu. That was back then. But now that we are hearing of this testimony or statement that was taken from GWABINI, but it was never read into the record by the state. So GWABINI is the man who also is being implicated as the one who hosted this alleged gathering that Constable Zungu was talking about at the hostel on the 26th of October 2014. So the judge inquired.
No, let us correct that part. He's implicated. He's now said to be implicated. Now. It is now being said like that. That is
because
when they were calling his
witness.
name. No, not because he's a defense witness. It was clear to everyone that GWABINI refused to implicate his brother and the rest of these guys. I think it was clear to even those minions that are following, that are state supporting. It probably was clear that he is refusing. So they then decided to abandon the mission and use the one and only person who could be a central person. And if you look at this person they chose to use is also very central, except that he's a police. Uzung is very central. But one thing that is consistent, and I must say that very disappointing to analysts like Bo Zigalal. Very disappointing to be called to that Kukwane there, that Mamkulu Ndlu there, that is always trying to swing and change the narrative. Very disappointing to see their faces there, and also singing for supper. If you ask me, I'm not gonna say much, but I just saw that interview of that arrangement of a person who's been quiet up until to a point now where he decided to just create a mini meeting of these two people who were just sounding like they were just saying what they wanted. They actually were asked to say that whatever that it is, that I mean, I've never seen such an analysis where people purposely they focus on the linking of the accused. You call yourself an analyst. I mean,
I heard the circumstantial evidence being thrown around a lot, and I'm like, oh my God.
Very disappointing. I mean, it is expected of Umazinho to do that, but to actually have...
I wonder how he pulled it off to make legal professionals look like that, to look so
they lost.
lost.
They lost a lot from me. I don't trust them anymore. I don't trust them. Sounds like they sing for supper.
It was so like the Zikalala from back in 2021, 2022, 2020. Oh my God, what happened? What is happening? What is happening? What's going on? I am scared with each development of what is happening, seeing people do a 360 like this. And on top of doing the 360, you can even see in their face, they're not convincing in that interview. They're not convincing. You can even see in their body language and how they're speaking that something is off here. Something's not right. And then what also took me over the edge.
He's saying Gwabi calling off Absalom Zung is actually helping the state case. In what way? In what way? In linking the people that said they were not linked. Who is linked? Because Zungu left there with the same people that said, I know Ndanzi,
Yes.
I know, and even the sitting arrangement.
And the Paul. That Paul.
And then, to top it all, you make a stupid poll, which you know for sure.
It is 64%. It says that Zungu is not a reliable witness or something like that. Let me double check it.
Shit.
Oh my God.
There's only one lawyer that is left, an analyst who's a lawyer who did maybe law, who's left is Elton Hart. That's the only guy who seemingly refuses to budge into a narrative. Put them on a bin, dustbin, all of them.
Zungu is misleading. 64%. You can see this one.
What
This
can you
one
say?
just went through a PowerPoint.
What can you say? What
I
can
dare
you
him
say?
to do it on X. Can Yusru do that poll on X, please? I want to see something.
Very disappointing. I didn't even want to make a video about it. You know, I saw it. I was like,
I was so defeated. Seeing
wow.
a person who...
So if we were to put that poll here, the very same poll, we copy it and put it here,
Maybe we should.
what do you think would happen?
Maybe we should. It
They
needs
all
to be
think we are
done
from that side
separately.
of blue suits there. We are not from that side of blue suits. That thing, that Kukwano Mkuku channel is useless.
I wonder they're always against
That thing
South
is
Africans,
useless.
those ones that are against
It's
us in
useless.
every way. They
Highly useless. To be even invited there, it's not an honor. It's a disgrace. If you've ever been invited there and you honored that nonsense,
that channel doesn't
highly,
like us.
highly useless, highly propagandized kuku, spaza shop.
It's the worst channel ever, that one. I get.
For anything, you trusting that thing, trust it at your own high blood and whatsoever. Trust that thing.
Maybe they were told that South Africans are gullible. They'll believe
No, we're
everything
not
you told
gullible
them.
anymore.
Maybe they'll believe everything you tell them.
No.
Even if
Gone are
a
those
pot
days.
is orange,
Gone
just
are
put
those
it in
days.
front of them and tell them that it's grey.
We
And they
are
will-
done.
They will say it's grey.
We are done. We are done. We don't just believe things at face value. We are done. You know?
After seeing that, all I can say is we are in trouble. I wonder if you do not dissect the news for yourself, you are in trouble. You're going to go with the wind. You're going to be deceived.
100% deceived.
You're going to be lied to, and those things, because they're coming from so-called channels, they're gonna be seen as credible when everything has been twisted. Right now, it's a psychological warfare when it comes to news reporting. You just have to dig the information yourself. Otherwise, angeke. We have to thank the SABC. If it wasn't for them broadcasting this,
at least they try to be neutral as possible, even though it is difficult.
It's hard for them to be a neutral and everything else, but for them to deliver the live stream, we are grateful. If there were no cameras in that court,
that's why that Mkuku cannot even deliver live stream.
They can't. They cannot. How can they when they're busy focusing on swinging narratives and making people look and feel crazy?
Jeez, man. But it's okay, man. Let's leave that Mkuku. Useless as it is, we know we've always known.
I was disappointed.
This is a last nail for me. I think if you still follow that nonsense, I follow it at your own risk.
I've been avoiding it. And I'm like, and I'm not in the mood because, no, I don't understand the vested interest of trying to polish and do marketing for the state. I don't get that. It's disturbing. Considering what we are going through in this country with the judicial system and what is going on with the NPA and stuff.
It must be subjected to YouTube. I'm sure the views that they get most are YouTube views. That's it.
Let it remain.
They must be called YouTubers. That's it.
They are content creators.
They are content creators with that Mazinho arrangement.
Well, the judge inquired about the full names of the witness, and Mnisi asked him what he preferred to be called in court. Usfiso Zungu, he said he preferred being called GWABINI, his clan name, and Mnisi started introducing himself to GWABINI, and he said in Julius Caesar, William Shakespeare said, the ides of March are come. It means the day has arrived. It will get more clearer as we get into your testimony as to the reason why I say the ides of March are come. That was a nice intro. Advocate Charles Mnisi told GWABINI that he must have freedom of expression and speech. Mnisi explained the case that Senzo died in what is said to be involved a brawl of two intruders with fatal consequences. In the course of their investigation, this court has been told that the investigation team stumbled upon a constable Zungu who gave them information which led to the police to you. The police had an interaction with you which ultimately led to you being requested to come and assist the court on that which you'd be telling this court on the knowledge you know about this incident. In the process of the investigation, the police arrested the 5 gentlemen that are before court here, and if you have a moment with them, just take your time and look at them, because I'm about to ask you if you have knowledge of who they are. Now, Mnisi said, let's start first with the gentleman here in court, Moses Bia. Do you know him? GWABINI said yes. Asked how he knew him. He said, is his brother. And they asked him, a brother in what sense? Because our African culture, we are all brothers. GWABINI said that he's his brother, the child of his mom's elder sister, uzalwa umamkhulu. Mnisi then asked him, the second one is Bongani Sandison Tanzi, asked if he knew him. GWABINI said that they grew up in a different village, but they would come together for song and dance, growing up together. And Mnisi said the third one is Ntobisi Prince Ngube. Do you know him? And GWABINI said, no, I don't know him. The fourth gentleman.
Consistently. Again, we're going to be hearing links. In years or about 6, the consistency. I doubt that they even listen to this case. There's Malanga Commission. When did they get time to go through 4 to 5 hours of footages? When did they get time to come and analyze? Because you know
that
what?
other one sits in court on a daily basis, so I don't understand why it is.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You are called. You are called to come and comment on such a thing, ne? And this one has the information, so he picks what he wants to pick,
yes.
and then he makes it a topic, and then you have to now analyze based on that.
Yes.
Then it becomes that.
Oh, you mean the lawyers? Because now there's Madlanga Commission.
The
and
lawyers are probably busy with Madlanga Commission. I was puzzled as to when did they get time to go through the footage of Absalom Zungu, because it's not one footage, it's many.
Yeah, it's a good 5 days of testimony. When did they get the time amongst the midst of what's been happening with Bob Brown, Mohotsi, and everyone else? I mean, even we've had to kind of let that one go.
Do you understand?
Reporting on Madlanga Commission or whatnot, because we're prioritizing this case. So if you're going to be called to come and talk on a case and you haven't watched, what exactly are you going to say? You become prey.
They swindled you.
You were swindled.
And you gave your opinion based on half-baked information
that you are getting from this reporter who's very biased towards the state. Very biased, extremely biased.
Again, the other one was also doing that. They told her on the other side, you can't do that nonsense. And then she's quiet now. She was a defender. All of a sudden, she's gone.
Yeah, now she's reporting on everything
Yes.
on the news.
Yes.
She's doing her dream job of being a journalist and reporting on everything.
They took her back to school.
Yes.
This is how we report.
Yes. She's polishing her skill right there. Yes. Not this nonsense of telling us what to think. You are supposed to report the news. Give us the news. Give us the facts. What happened? Don't tell us your opinion. We don't care about your opinion. You are a reporter. Report. So Mnisi then said the fourth gentleman is Mtogozi Senima Pisa. Do you know him? And how do you know him? And Gwabini said, yes, I know him. He's my uncle. Where my mother hails from, he's from there. And Mnisi asked him, so he's from the same village where your mother comes from? And Gwabini said, yes. Do you have a relationship with him? Gwabini said, no relation. I just call him as uncle. And Mnisi said, the last gentleman is Fisogu Hlenkani Ntuli. Do you know him? And Gwabini said, he's my cousin, my uncle's child. And they asked, do you know Constable Sizwe Skumbuzo Zungu? And Gwabini said, yes, I know him. Uzalwa umkhulu. He's my father, or his father is my grandfather. Uthe uzalwa ubaba. So there's a relationship there. And
so, but still, I don't get why are they calling each other malume?
Abi general.
With Sizwe.
Zungu, remember, is the one who said Gwabini was calling him uncle. We're here to find out what Gwabini was calling him, because Gwabini hasn't mentioned him as uncle.
I have a snippet of what, upon the meeting of 2017, what Gwabini said. I mean, what Sizwe said, Constable Sizwe. He said, now you don't come to your uncle. Do you remember that part? When they came with Mose.
Yes.
Yes. And then he was found smoking outside.
Yes.
So now you don't come to your uncle when he calls you. I still don't get it. Uncle comes from the mother's side.
Yes, it comes from the mother's side.
Why would he call himself an uncle? Ngapha father's side, utolo baba kuphela, fathers. Baba omkhulu, baba omncane, ubaba ozalo omkhulu phakathi and all that. Oh, baba kodwa.
We don't know why Constable Zungu.
I'm still confused there, because from what you are saying right now, Untuli is coming from the maternal side of these two.
The paternal.
The paternal.
Oh, the maternal.
The maternal side, yes. The maternal side, meaning same as Umuzi.
Yes, Umuzi also is the maternal side.
Maternal side, yes. Also. So that would make sense as to
Why they call him uncle?
Yes.
Or they
Also,
refer to each other.
I also like the manner in which accused number 4 was defined as a person who comes from
Mother's side.
That would mean that they are from Ntuli's side also. Ntuli and these 3 basically are in one place, even though they don't know accused number 3. But it seems as if they are in one place and they're in the same circle.
Okay.
Yeah, well, which is consistent, by the way. The news is very consistent with what has been said. I don't see anything
And another
wrong.
thing those lawyers kept emphasizing on was the fact that it is said that the accused said they don't know each other.
Jeez,
They
man.
don't know each other.
That's why I said
So
they
if now they're
have
coming
been
and saying
out
they
of
know
touch.
each other, it builds on the circumstantial evidence that the state has. I'm like, Aibo Kathleen. I'm very disappointed for someone who's been following this case.
No,
from day one.
they haven't. They just here, come through to discuss 1, 2, 3, and then they focus there.
Yo, I was like, hi, Mina, I'm switching off that channel. Ngeke khona, ngeke bafungeke. Like so many years of testimony, so many years of what's been happening in that court, and you are coming here to defend that nonsense. Ngeke. Nope. So Mnisi then said your name featured a lot in the testimony of Constable Zungu, and he gave the testimony on the 7th of September 2023, and he testified about an incident that panned out on the 26th of October 2014, the day of the incident. He staged his testimony on your involvement in this case around the date. This is what he said.
Oh yeah, sorry, Emil. Yeah, you guys, I see you are correcting me. It's an interpreting thing that I got when I email that keeps on. I got it from the interpretation. It's in English. It's uncle.
Yes. Oh, you mean in English it's uncle.
Yeah, I get you. I get you guys.
But still, he's saying that uzalwa ubaba.
Yeah, uncle. That's an uncle.
That's an uncle.
Apparently in English. See how English is freaking, like that record, it distorted.
Well, he further said that as you gave him a call, it was because he wanted to know if he'll be able to come to Vosloorus on that day. GWABINI said he's telling lies. Unamanga. Unamanga. Unkambela manga. Unamanga. That was the song of today from GWABINI. Unamanga. Hi, unamanga. Hi, unamanga.
And remember, guys, just to remind you, what Moses said about GWABINI.
Yes.
He met GWABINI in 2017.
Yes.
Not in 2014.
No.
2017. And it mustn't be distorted. Moses said it.
Well, GWABINI said he's telling lies, and Mnisi said as he was talking to you, or as you were talking to him, his response was, because it was still early in the morning, he told you that he first has to go to work, but he will be able to come to your place when he knocks off in the afternoon. GWABINI said he's lying. He went on to tell this court that after the discussion, there was a bit of a pause. Then you initiated the call and you called him and informed him that a certain gentleman by the name of Makosonke from Rustenburg would be joining you. GWABINI said he lied. Then you sent him Zungu. You sent Zungu Makosonke's number, and GWABINI said he's lying. Then he told you he will call you once he knocks off from work in the early afternoon. GWABINI said he's lying. He said that after he knocked off, he contacted Makosonke and they agreed to meet at Carlton Center. Then Mr. Zungu went there to meet him. He said while they were eating at Carlton Center, you called asking where he was, and Zungu informed you that they were already on their way to your place. GWABINI said they never informed me that they were on their way to me. And Mnisi said, was there such a conversation on this day with him? And GWABINI said the very first time Constable Zungu came to me was in 2017, and it was a surprise to me. Well, Mnisi said, hold up, we'll get to that later. And he said that as they were
GWABINI
seated...
surprises people. Surprises his own father. He surprises even...
He likes showing up unannounced at people's places. It's a thing that he does. It's a pattern. Because even Zungu, GWABINI is saying that he did that. He arrived unannounced.
Yes, Jabi Demba, thank you. Welcome to membership. We see that you said you struggled to join the membership. I'm glad you finally figured out.
Thank you for being persistent and figuring it out.
And we love you here.
Thank you
One
so
way or
much.
another, green or gray, we still love you.
Yes.
We love you that you are green now. We love you when you were gray. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And he said to you that they were on their way, okay? And GWABINI said he's lying. And according to him, that is what he told this court. They drove from Carlton Center and they arrived at Basotho Hostel in the place where you were staying between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. GWABINI said he's lying. He said upon arrival, he greeted you and sat with you, and they were with other people from villages back home. And GWABINI said he's telling lies. Mnisi said he described the hostel. He said that you and these people sat in a common place. GWABINI is telling lies. He said while you were seated there, Makosonke told him that he had a bottle of Jameson. GWABINI said he's telling lies. Mnisi said he said you were eating, drinking, talking, and also having some fun through dancing. GWABINI said he's lying. Mnisi said the first person he recognized was Moses B, accused number 1. And GWABINI said he's lying. And Mnisi said, here we are just talking about what he said happened according to him on the 26th of October. Do you follow? And Mnisi said he said accused 2, 3, and 5 were there on his arrival. And he further told this court because he could not remember other people who were around there, because he then spent most of the time around Gauteng, then you took the liberty to introduce some of the people that he found there to him. GWABINI said he's lying. He told the court that you reminded him about accused number 3, that he was known as Gadla, and accused 2, who was also known as Mafika. GWABINI said he's lying. And Mnisi said he further told this court that there was no reason for you to introduce accused 1 because you already knew him. And subsequently to that, accused 5 arrived. Then you introduced accused 5 to him and told him who he was, that he was Ngani. GWABINI said he's lying. Mnisi said he then sketched what happened on the 26th of October 2014. He said as you guys were sitting there, accused 5 stood up and requested one of the gentlemen who was there to request Zungu to move his vehicle because it was on accused number 5's vehicle's way. And he said indeed he obliged and moved his vehicle away and gave accused number 5 a way to go out. He told this court that the vehicle Zungu arrived there with was a grey Polo hatchback. GWABINI said he's lying. Sometime after accused 5 had left, he realized that their beer supply was getting less and less, and they left with a red Uno to go buy liquor. He left with accused 2, 3, and 2 other gentlemen. All in all, he said that there were 5 in that car. GWABINI said those are lies. He says that they went and came back and continued with the festivities, dancing, eating meat and drinking the beer. GWABINI said he's lying. And he said the judge now came in and said, sorry, it's a minor detail. Zungu, did he say he was drinking beer or Jameson whiskey? He had doused it, as they call it. Nisi said, yes, my lord. I'm just using a generic word.
And the court wanted to be specific.
He said, no, you mustn't, because
knowledge is important.
That gentleman said he was drinking Jameson and had mixed it. So the Jameson is a very important element here. It's very important to the judge. Jameson. Well, Mnisi said that around about 8:30 and 9:30, he was still sitting at the hostel facing the main door. GWABINI said he's lying. He said while facing the door, he saw accused 1, 2, 3 getting into the house, following each other and walking into the house through the main door. And according to his observation, he told this court that he could see that they were in a bit of a shock as they were walking fast. GWABINI said he's lying. And then Mnisi said, he said they walk straight into your room. GWABINI said he's lying. He says You followed them into the same room. And he said he also got a bit curious. He also followed you and these 3 gentlemen to your room. GWABINI said he's telling lies. He says when he got into the room, the lights went off. GWABINI said he's lying. You then took on the initiative and switched the lights on again. And you said the lights were having some problems. He says when he arrived at Basuto Hostel, he put his firearm in your room. He said you tried to fix the light. GWABINI said he's telling lies. Nisi said he says whilst he was in your room, in your presence, in the presence of accused 1, 2, and 3, he also got in and stood between 1 and 2. GWABINI said he's telling lies. He says he saw that both accused 1 and 3 had firearms in their possession, and GWABINI said he's telling lies. He told the court that accused 2 didn't have a firearm in his possession. He gave descriptions of the firearms. He said accused 1 had a .38 revolver and accused 3 had a 9mm. He said soon after realizing the guns, he inquired from about his firearms whereabouts. So GWABINI said he's lying. And then Nisi said he then says you gave him his gun, and after receiving it from you, he released the magazine. GWABINI said he's telling lies. Nisi said, yeah. When I actually read his testimony and I came to this word magazine, I thought, what kind of a magazine? Because, with us, we know Bona, Dram, Hisgenwoord. I could not really understand what kind of a magazine this was. I must also make a confession. Before I even started sitting on this case, I don't think I even knew what a magazine was. I had to Google. Like, magazine, where is the true love and stuff? What is a magazine and a gun now? So I had to quickly learn and adjust what is a magazine. And that's what he said he did in your presence. And Baloyi objected and said the word magazine featured when Constable Buthelezi gave evidence when the ballistic expert. But these people, Advocate Baloyi, testified after Zungu was done testifying. Did they not?
They did.
So at the time when it was first mentioned by Constable Zungu, those of us who have no clue about firearms and stuff had no idea what a magazine was. We had to Google and find out, okay? So the judge said, yeah, a magazine, everybody knows it. Haibo, not everybody knows it. Not everybody is familiar with firearms. The judge said, I'm surprised Mr. Mnisi does not. He said that the receptacle of cartridges or projectiles of a firearm and it's encased in an iron pouch. He says he grew up in Alexandra Township. I'm sure at about 8 years of age, he knew what a magazine was because there were gangsters in Alexander. So many gangs. The spoilers, the vultures, the young Americans. Sometimes he grew up in Soweto. Sometimes he grew up in Alexander. We're keeping up. We're catching up.
It's difficult.
Well, he asked Mnisi if he knew Brazinga, the famous poet, the late Don Matera, and he was Brazinga in Alexandra Township. So basically, he's telling us that Don Matera was the late Don Matera was a gangster. I didn't know that, but thank you for the extra piece of information. We shall either confirm or deny after a bit of research. Yes. Well, after the short adjournment, Baloyi said that Brigadier Ginida testified that they obtained the statement of Mr. Sfiso Zungu and that he's the one who told them about the presence of Constable Zungu during the incident and not the other way around. That is the first point. Secondly, counsel is in possession of a statement made in terms of Section 204 by this witness. If the state called this witness, they would request the provisions of Section 204 be explained to the witness, but that hasn't happened yet. He said we wondered.
Where did Baloyi start his law degree?
University of Pretoria.
Jeez, man. Is this how they said they apply these things? Man, honestly speaking, man, I'm questioning Like I'm really questioning this. I know a lot of graduates from that side, and we are friends with them. Good lawyers, disgusted also. Very disgusted by what is happening in this case. Very disgusted. It's a joke.
And the way they have a die-hard spirit.
Jeez, man. You
No
say
shame.
that with a strong face, bruh.
No shame.
You stand up, you say that with the freaking strong face as if you mean it. Real. And then people go around and judging people based on where they got their degrees. Honestly speaking, one of the best institutions.
Bringing it to disrepute. Bringing it to its knees. What?
Yes.
The
interpretations
that he makes.
Yes.
Of the law.
Bruh, Section 204, bruh, it's broad. You know, it's very broad, but it's easy to comprehend. It's not even difficult to comprehend. You don't need to read that long whatever thing that you're reading from.
So in a nutshell here, the state is saying that GWABINI made a statement in terms of Section 204 and asked whether he was warned in line of this. You know what the crazy thing is? The state did not disclose that to the defense. So the defense must go around sniffing which witness that came from the state has a Section 204.
No, Demir, you don't even need to go there. You don't. If the state does not call that witness
to come and testify,
Section 205 does not apply. If the state does not call or avoid calling the alleged accomplice, then it does not apply. The witness is not warned under Section 205. The witness is not protected under Section 205. 204. The witness is not eligible for indemnity under Section 204. The witness is just a normal witness. Does that need you to go to school and get masters perhaps to understand? No. Why are you even standing up and objecting to that kind of crap? We have a doctor next to you, the so-called doctor. Both of you stands up. You stand. You after discussing with the doctor, you still stand up and say what you just said. Now, if I was a doctor, I was gonna say, Chief, pull that bulampuda down, sit down. Seriously, you are putting my name into disrepute.
Another thing there is that what did I you're making me laugh when you say winging.
Yeah, you work that thing. You're like, Chief, attention, please. Come down. Withdraw that thing. Whatever you said there, withdraw it. And then to top it all, Mr. Know-it-all talks about Section 203.
And another thing I wanted to bring up, with Ntanzi, there was similar type of situation going on. But because the state was protective of Mjiako, they came in and said, oh, we are not obligated to discuss what happened and what the offer was. Just like you are stating now with Section 204, that as long as the defense, the state does not call this witness, then this Section 204 is put aside.
Let's go.
Which is what happened with Ntanzi. Remember, there was a situation there of him having a discuss. They made a deal with the state. The Jani Mjiako was there facilitating the process allegedly. Do you remember?
I remember.
And then the judge quickly shut it down with the Advocate BALOYI. Even Advocate BALOYI is like, no, we're not obligated to discuss. They can't discuss it. Why? Because Ntanzi now has pled not guilty. So
So everything
Things
moves
now
away.
has changed.
If
when
you have
GWABINI
a
is
so-called
testifying.
agreement with the state, and then you are supposed to go in and say certain things, and you don't say those things, everything is stripped off from them.
Yes.
That's it.
And that is what Advocate Baloyi is failing to comprehend, is the fact that because this witness is no longer their witness, whatever arrangements, whatever discussions they had with them, those
they are
don't
done.
apply
They are
for the
over.
defense. They're
Immediately
done.
when he decided to close the
Yes.
case, they are over. Now, now when your kid is just failing, when your kid is just failing and you just need something to say, just watch the judge going for section 203. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Well, Nisi said the sequence is immaterial from where we are standing, and the reason why I'm saying this is because the state investigates a case whether they are using a particular sequence or not. I'm not privy to the methodologies that they're using in investigating a case. And even this whole deal discussion, 10 state witnesses, is usually done by the investigating team. It's usually headed by them. The prosecutor comes in to seal the deal. It's not something that the prosecutor initiates. But all that is before court here is that there is a Constable Zungu who came to this court and gave out the information that we are busy with here.
I'm sorry. No, Dido West, I understand what you're going through. It's shame Dido is complaining that Man United has just ruined his day. Well, it does happen. I normally come here on this channel sometimes after being disappointed by Barcelona. It does happen. The pain you feel of the day, it's okay. It's football. That's how it is. It's supposed to kill us, by the way. That's why men die early sometimes. But yeah, sorry, man. Man United is going to be Man United this day. It's not happening. But thank you, Pedro Nkos. Thank you. Yeah, that's on a light note. Let's continue, man.
Nisi said, I'm busy taking this witness through what Constable Zungu came and testified about. And the reason why Constable Zungu had to come and testify is because of the work or the investigations that were conducted by the investigating team in this case, who at one point came across Constable Zungu, who said, you probably might want the information that I have. Here is the information that I have, and this is the information I have. He gave them the information. Subsequent to that information, what steps did the investigating team take for the leading of my witness here is that it's immaterial. Whether they went to Mr. Zungu Senior or they went to somebody else, to me, that is immaterial because that is their own investigative prerogatives as to whatever they did.
I was surprised that the order is important in that court.
After what we experienced with the state's
because
presentation.
this whole state amended presentation.
Upside down.
It felt like, not even upside down. I'm telling you, it felt like we were mooring a reverse for 100 and something witness that we were promised. We were doing that on a reverse way.
Yes.
So is that a sequence? That is.
There was no sequence.
Now they are telling me about the sequence. Well, good for me is they're talking about the sequence of investigation, which is nonsense. Which is not applicable to Mnis. It's none of Mnis's business how these people decided to do the investigation. Why are you going to try to do it like them? It's like, stand on these people's view so that you can see what they were saying. Nonsense. Nonsense. Mnis is there for one thing. Are these accused the right people after the so-called sequence of investigation? That he's not there to try and match the sequence of Genind.
No.
Because subsequent to that, you'll get lost. I mean, we got lost trying to analyze what Genind was saying.
Yeah.
Can you imagine then trying to follow his sequence of things where people were arrested, bullets were mushrooming there and there. Now you need to follow that sequence where bullets were looked for the whole day, and then all of a sudden they just come out of nowhere behind the jars. Now you should follow that whole thing.
And the fact that on a normal case, the lead investigator is usually the first one to come and testify. But in the state's case on the Senzo Meyiwa trial, he was the last witness to testify.
Okay, that's why I'm saying it felt like we were just got in a car and then they told you 180 kilometers reverse.
Backward. It was
Because
the strangest sequence.
everything you wanted to ask a person who was there before the other one was already gone.
Yes.
That chance was already gone.
Yes.
And that was done on purpose, in my opinion.
It was.
You know,
It was
it didn't
done
give
on
anyone a
purpose.
chance. Everyone throwing everything on the person who's coming next. Gininda is going to come and clarify. Gininda is going to come and clarify. You know, those are things that we look at. Linde ni hatebe. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you, Lindeni.
Thank you. That is how things were going. And the judge didn't have a problem with that. He was able to comprehend everything. Let's press the like button, guys. 600 people. Let's press the like button. Now this is a problem. The judge is failing to understand and comprehend and all that, and talking about the integrity of the witness. Where does the integrity of the witness come in when it comes to investigation?
I don't know. The
The integrity of a witness, you are judged on what the case is all about. The case is about murder of Senzo. I think these people have forgotten. Can someone smack their heads
and remind
them, but don't smack them hard, they might faint, these ones. But just so that they understand that we are here for Senzo's case. We are not defending the police. We are not there to defend the investigators. We are not there to push
we wanna
certain
know
narrative.
what happened to Senzo Meyiwa. Senzo Meyiwa. What happened?
That's why now they are telling us about the investigation. Ingena happy lapho. Ingena happy.
And it seems like this investigation did not yield much except confusion. Well, the second point Nisi said about this witness having made a Section 204 statement, he said he doesn't know what the state's worried about there, whether he should have been warned or what. And he said he's in the same position as him. He's basically asking this court to come up with the answer to an objection that he was raising. He's basically saying that this witness has made a Section 204 statement. He said, I don't even know whether he made that statement. I don't even know whether that statement will be relevant in me leading that witness. But the state is saying to the court, this witness made a Section 204, and I don't know if the defense is allowed to lead him without having warned him of the provisions of Section 204. He said, I've called the witness. The defense does not investigate on the basis that a witness is a Section 204. Not the defense calls a witness which in their minds are saying that this witness will come and assist this court in the presentation of the defense's case. Whether that's a Section 204 witness or a whatever section witness, now the question is, if this was a Section 204 witness, my lord, why did the state not call him? Utheni ubabu Absalom Zungu angibizwa ngani? Angibizwa ngani? So for them to come and complain thereafter and say, no, the defense cannot call this witness because he was our witness in terms of Section 204,
What
then
do
they
you
should
think
have called
this,
him.
just to pause a little bit, what do you think this whole Section 204 thing was all about?
For me, it was to intimidate GWABINI. And I think that's what I wrote at the end of my summary of that whole observation, that it's an intimidation tactic. It was created to make him uncomfortable, to intimidate him, to scare him, to say, you know what, if you don't say what is favorable to the state, then you stand a chance of getting arrested after you're done testifying. It was just an intimidation tactic coming from the state as well as the judge. And one has to wonder what they are afraid of. Why do you have to make a witness uneasy before they testify?
Okay, so yes, there we can agree to that. But that's why one can even submit further to say that's why probably it was interpreted. These things of arguments of such nature, they are not interpreted, but they wanted this one to go through to GWABINI.
Yes.
Do you hear that? What we told you about.
Send a message to GWABINI.
But the most important part that this section 204 that was shoved in Mnesi's throat, it also had to do with some of these things that I'm gonna tell you about. So in South African law, it recognizes that accomplice evidence is inherently dangerous. That's what they want to put it at. So now the witness may lie, one, to save themselves. The witness may falsely implicate others. They want immunity. Police sometimes pressure them. So I don't think they were looking at that one. So, but therefore, the court must treat such evidence with caution. That's where they want to go. This person is lying.
Must be treated with caution.
Is lying to save himself. That's where they wanted to go. That's why they were shoving it down. Please say it. Say it, Miss. Did you warn this person? Did you? But what is important is that for Section 204, witness must be corroborated by other reliable evidence.
Do they have that evidence?
A conviction cannot be based solely on the weight of the Section 204 witness. And the cases to look at is S versus Hlepuzulu, Hlapezulu, and then S versus Ngoma of 1984. Those are the cases. So that basically why my Lord was at pain was to make sure that he creates that cloud of doubt that the Mazinhos were saying he could have created with Ubabuzung. So he wanted that cloud of. So this one is wrong, even wrong. It doesn't. This one doesn't fit. Trying to fit the shoe by force, but it's not fitting because you want to say this witness is denying the statement and whatnot because of 1, 2, 3. So, and you guys are the ones who push the section. He's gonna be saying that. He's telling them to push it. He's gonna be saying you guys are the ones who want to introduce the section 204.
That's what he does. It's the kind of games that he plays, these monkey tricks of his that just prolong everything.
Tiff was right.
He was.
Monkey tricks.
He was right about the monkey
tricks.
When it comes to the
I'm happy that this is a seasoned advocate who also at some point was a prosecutor. Yes. He would be aware of this kind of behaviors.
Yes.
Because honestly speaking, he wasted time for no reason. This section 204 is just a waste of time. It was just a waste of time.
And it was a long argument. But where he really got me is where he said he's been saying that Constable Zungu is lying all the way, referring to GWABINI's earlier testimony before the short adjournment. But if his evidence is approached from the correct perspective, as testified to on record, meaning that it must support Constable Zungu's allegations. That's how I interpreted it. So what do you mean correct perspective? As testified to on record. What are you talking about?
So this man actually wanted to argue that they are not GWABINI is not reliable. They are lying to get or they are lying to protect themselves. That's an argument that they wanted to sit on. That's why he's pushing this section 204 thing, and the judge is trying to squeeze it in through section 203, which, by the way, we are still going to talk about it, but it's not even there for the judge to do that.
So, Advocate Baloyi says that might change the approach to the witness, and to me, this sounded like a threat. I don't want to lie.
So, what he's saying is that if the questions were asked according to the chronological order of the sequence that Geninda and the rest of the team were following,
yes,
the witness might have a different answer. Do you get that? That's why he's arguing the sequence. He's saying if the sequence is put properly, the witness might arrive to a different view.
Ain't nobody got time for those long essay answers of Brigadier Gininda to be revisited and put on record. We want summarize. Why do you want to torture the witness with 5 pages of an answer to one question?
You wanted, you know what? I mean, the long answers, they work in his favor because he stick to one gray area. Then he start making you look like a not credible person. So if the yes, no answer on a manga, they're not good for him.
No. But those are the answers that eventually we're going to get to, even if it takes 2 hours of reading a whole essay of an answer. And Brigadier Gininda also did not do himself justice by giving those long, complicated essay answers, because now we don't even know what he answered to a particular question. We just have long stories. And now those stories have brought GWABINI as well to the witness box.
And God knows if one day they will bring even the guy who's said to have visited with this GWABINI guy.
Yes. That's what the long essays answers do. They bring in more witnesses to the stand. The defense would have never known about GWABINI had Brigadier Gininda not brought him up. He's the one who brought him up. I don't remember any of the accused.
So you know why they brought the statement of GWABINI and did not put it on record?
Why?
Because they were betting on if they call GWABINI, they should put it on record. Then we can enforce that thing of Section 204, under which the statement was made. And Mnisi, being Mnisi, was like, I'm not touching that.
I will see it when it's time for the defense to present their case.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Thank you very much.
Let's wait. BALOYI has been using that strategy. He gives it in you. He puts it on your face. It's like, oh yeah, here we.
It's like bait.
You can question on it, but if you question, you must know that you are putting yourself on this fire.
Yes.
It's your bed. You've made it.
That.
Please lie on it. He's been doing that, but
that's how the statement of Absalom Zungu was introduced. He dabbled it like a toy, a nice
so
toy.
Now, as of today, you know, he had to stand up because the court was proceeding, and Mnisi is not using that statement for heaven's sake. He's like, oh God, please use it so that I can stand up and say, my Lord, I think the objection was gonna be this way. Unfortunately, it didn't come this way. It was going to be this way. My Lord, I think it would be correct for my learned colleagues to read the Section 204 for the witness, because I mean the circumstances in which this statement was made under, it was under Section 204. So if my learned colleagues would like to traverse that, by all means, I mean, it's not an issue with us, but we just want to make things clear to say that the statement is accompanied by Section 204, my Lord. That's what he wanted to say. But that time did not come. Oh shit, that time did not come. They kept on debunking Zungu from far. You know when someone is shooting you from far?
Yes.
It's like that fight yasesandlwane. When ufuna ukuzeduzane umuntu fa lokho eshayile. Yabo. So now it's like it's painful what you are hitting me with, but I cannot get closer. I want to be closer to you. Please use it. So that's why he wanted everything to be put into perspective correctly. Even the statement must be put correctly. And then how does it get to be put correctly? It must be put with that footnote of Section 204.
Yes.
So this is just hitting like so hard, you cannot come back.
But why does he always want to detect or dictate
it's
cross-examinations or evidence in chiefs of the defense? He wants to bully them into doing what he wants.
It's preempting, Emil. It's like me setting a trap for you, and you don't go to that road. So for you to get to that trap, what do? I need to move you from this other road that you are using and say, hey,
and
now I'm a spike.
To present himself as this expert of cross-examination and a leading a witness in evidence in chief, while he's not the best. He's not even his objections.
No,
sometimes
it's painful because he has been setting these traps, these minor traps, this mining traps that he's doing, and it has been working.
Now it's no longer working.
So now he's like saying, you cannot use N3, use N4.
And I remain on N3.
So Mnisi's bees on N3, cruising nicely, because there are no spikes. Use N4 so that you get the spikes there by Mulot or something, or something like that. So he wants to go to that direction. So then you'll see later the attempt by the father to say, okay, let me have this witness be read some of these things that you can answer, you can do this and this and this. Yeah, unfortunately, that did not work. Didn't sit well.
I had
with section 203. No, section 203, we'll discuss it.
Well, Nisi later on said that what is material in this court is whether the allegations that are raised before these accused persons have got any substance, whether in the course of investigation from the state jumped from 1 to 7, from 7 to 14, that is immaterial. What is material is the presentation that is made here at court. Well, the judge said no, he differs with Nisi on that. He said, let me tell you, the sequence of occurrence is critical because you take a witness under cross-examination and he starts testifying about the death of Rata Mkhwatling without having testified about how Rata was stabbed with a knife or a panga, his head was shaved off, etc., etc. The judge is going to say to you, how did the assault start? It's material. Other counsel will argue that this witness is not material because he says B instead of starting at A. I don't want to put it further than that. So the sequence of the evidence is material. It must be so. The only thing that you must tell me is why don't you read section 204, referring to Advocate Baloyi there, to instructing him to read section 204.
Do you see? They're speaking at cross purposes. The judge is talking about evidence, the sequence of evidence. Baloyi is submitting on the sequence of investigation.
Yes.
And I fully agree, the sequence of evidence is important. You cannot come and say, then he started running.
Yes.
Then you'll be looked at as a witness who's not credible.
Yes.
You need to say, I saw him picking this thing in the yard. He jumped a wall. I saw him jump. If you saw him jumping in, I saw him jumping in. I saw him picking this thing. I saw him jumping out. I saw him running. So you cannot just come and say, then he started running.
No.
You are not credible witness if you do that.
Not at all.
Unless they laid a basis on which you saw this person only when they were going out. That's a different story. But if you coming on the note that I saw everything, and then you just come and say, I saw him running. You saw everything, but you saw him running. So you're not credible. That's what the judge was trying to go to.
So he said because, for instance, look at section 205, where a person pleads to guilty and he conducts a consultation with the state and subsequently decides to sign the agreement. Okay? To protect... Okay, my apologies. The act is not signing that agreement, nullifies that agreement. If a person is a 205 witness, is there no procedure to warn the witness of his rights? Because in terms of section 203, our constitution bars a witness from self-incrimination. Why don't you retire for 10, 15 or an hour? Do research.
There is no
to
need.
That point.
You consulted with this witness, Mnis. There is no need to be convinced that you must retire and all that. All of a sudden, you afforded time. You've been wasting time. All of a sudden now, the time is given freely. Uncalled for. It's an uncalled for behavior that you do not actually.
Don't take that off.
Just address the situation and continue. It's just crazy how people want to give extra time and extra marks for things that are not called for, as if they are nice when they are not nice.
Well, Nisi said that the court is mentioning it's critical for a witness to testify sequentially. And he said, when a witness is testifying at court, I'm referring to investigative methodologies that the state raised. That is not okay for the defense to suggest that the police stumbled upon Constable Zungu, who's also mentioned the name of that witness. Investigation is totally different from when a witness is testifying. It is indeed true and correct that when a witness is reacting, they need to prefer the testimony in a logical and sequential way. But that is totally different from investigating techniques and methodologies that the police employ in the course of investigation of their case. He said, I said to this witness that the police in the course of the investigation of this case, they stumbled on Constable Zungu, who then mentioned his name, that is immaterial. The fact is his name was mentioned in the course of investigations. At one point, that is immaterial. That would be his submission. And now he went back to the second point.
Evidence versus investigation. That's the theme of this whole argument.
Yes.
The judge is coming with evidence point of view, trying to make Nisi to submit to that, whatever that Baloyi is saying.
Yes.
But Baloyi's submissions are based on
evidence that was done as a witness is testifying, the sequence of the witness testimony. That's what Baloyi is dealing with. While it's versus the sequence of the investigating team.
Investigation versus evidence presentation.
Yes.
That's the judge is saying, based on evidence presentation. Baloyi is saying, based on investigation. That's two different things. When evidence is collected, it comes in that order of saying, this is the order of things, because it must make sense. Whether the sequence was that you first got umlenze womuntu before utolisisu nekhanda and all that of your investigation, it's immaterial.
So the judge eventually said it's fine, and he asked Mnisi if he wanted to proceed. Mnisi said, definitely, my lord. But then the judge said, but for the court, for me, because I am the judge.
Here we go.
Take out section 203.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, Mr. That was taken away because now Baloyi was reading the section 203.
Section 203. It is only applicable if a person is present at court. The court may order that person to give evidence as a witness, even if the prosecutor did not call that person. But the main theme here is that the court is the one who calls that witness. It's not the defense. It's not the state. The court.
The court.
That's section 203. In practice, the court itself can call a witness. The judge or magistrate can say, I want to hear from that person. Call them to testify. This can happen if the evidence is unclear. The court believes someone present can clarify facts. Justice requires more information. Crucial witness was not called by the states or the defense. Section 205, the court decides to call the witness. Section 204, the state calls an accomplice witness and warns them.
That's the duty of the state.
That is section 203 versus section 204. Is it applicable where the judge applied it? No. The judge is interfering with the defense witness.
Yes. And now GWABINI is
And in a
defense
sense, one
witness.
can actually go further to submit that what the judge is doing is to threaten this. That's why he kept on saying, I'm not saying change your evidence.
He did say
because
that.
he knows what he's doing is tantamount to saying change your evidence.
Well, he
giving you a
did
little
say
leeway.
it, and he said it's applicable if a witness is called in terms of Section 204 is not applicable in his view. He said what is important is to warn the witness against self-incrimination, but he's not stopping him from answering questions as he deems fit. He said, my duty as a judge.
Why did you need to say that after, as a court, 203, Section 203, read it for me. Why did you need to say that at the end, Judge? If you are not doing wrong,
Hey,
my
this
man,
judge.
why did you need to say that?
He said, I'm obliged to point out that limitation. The state says
Obliged
that
by which section is that? Because not Section 203.
the state says that is all they are asking for. And Mnisi said the state is proposing or supposing that there will be questions, it will put the witness under cross-examination, which may be incriminating. And he said, we don't know, but we have called this witness to testify about the events of 2014. So far, he says all of it is a lie.
Obvious, BALOYI is going to try to impeach this witness with that thing of snarko and whatnot.
Kanjani.
I think that's what he's going to use. But also, that thing must be dealt with. I think, I mean, they know. That's
They
where he's
know.
trying. And
Yeah.
I think he's preempting very where this man wants to go.
Yes.
He's trying to cover for his tracks.
Well, the judge said he's entitled to answer the way he chooses. Well, Mnisi continued with GWABINI's evidence in chief. And Mnisi said Constable Zungu said that he inquired about his firearm from you. And then you gave it back to him. And then he released the magazine thereof. Do you still remember that? And GWABINI said he's telling lies. Constable Zungu proceeded to say that the firearm you gave him or you gave back to him, which was his 9mm Z88 pistol. And he told this court that after you gave him the firearm, he took the magazine from the firearm and he smelled the barrel of the firearm. And the reason why he did that was because he suspected that something was very suspicious in that room. And he proceeded to tell this court that while he was in that very same room, he also took the .38 special revolver from Muzi and looked at it. And he told this court that his observation of what was happening in that room is that those firearms that were in possession of accused 1 and 3, the .38, the revolver, and the 9mm pistol were firearms that had to be handed to you. He further told the court that in that moment, he then asked you why you were still in possession of the .38 gun because it was lost. And he said your response to him was that it's not the same firearm. I know counsel is summarizing the evidence, but the evidence is that Constable Zungu asked if it's not the same .38 special that was used to shoot Snako, and the response is that it was thrown in the river, not that it was lost. Now this was
Now, do you see
correcting.
the impeaching coming in? You see where it comes from? You see the root of it?
Snako issue.
So
But
that's
how
where,
are they going to do that without the firearm?
I don't know.
Without evidence, without...
Because from
Where are the witnesses?
from his answer, GWABINI of SNAC issue, he doesn't know anything about it.
Yes.
So take it any further than that. I don't know how you're gonna take it further than that, because if
Nama,
he does
I'm
not discuss
curious.
that issue willingly, so that you can find loopholes, then it becomes difficult for you.
Where are you going to get witnesses? Where are you going to get the firearm
And
itself?
I mean, if you bring witnesses, then you are bringing witnesses for a different case.
It's a different
in a different
case.
court.
It's no longer Senzo's case.
Let's
It's
press the
another
like
case
button,
altogether.
guys. Please, let's press the like button. Let's reach that 400. 700 people are here today. So it's a nice day.
Well, Ngumalo said BALOYI is also getting it wrong there because the issue of Snako is mentioned in the statement of Zungu and it was never mentioned in his evidence in chief. The judge asked if the defense traversed there was a response that forms part of the proceedings of this case. So what is the problem? And Nxumalo said the problem is that his colleague, Advocate Mnisi, is taking the witness through the evidence in chief of Mr. Zungu, which Constable Zungu did not mention the issue of Snako in his evidence in chief. He mentioned him in his statement, and he said he mentioned, as my colleague is mentioning, now Advocate Baloyi is raising the issue which is not raised by Zungu in his evidence in chief. And then I'm like, Konje, Advocate Baloyi also sometimes does the same thing. He will quote from a random part where that issue was clarified at a later stage in the same evidence. Maybe it was clarified at a cross-examination. He will take what was said in evidence in chief and present it as a fact that was never corrected, that has no follow-up, nothing. And he will put it there like it's it's the end all and be all. And now I'm quite shocked that he's having a problem with Mnisi only referring to the testimony of Constable Zungu in his evidence in chief and not making it a holistic thing. He also doesn't do that. So why is he trying to dictate the defense to do their cross-examination how he wants it to be done, when he doesn't do any of that? In fact, he will even say that they are disturbing him while they are objecting. He says, can they wait for me to finish? They will have their opportunity. Now, he keeps standing with all these ridiculous demands that I don't know what they are coming from and what they're supposed to do. Well, the judge said that's a minor point. Does he have to raise it in evidence in chief or raise it in evidence which can either be in chief or re-examination? Well, the judge now said that though evidence is evidence, whether it was traversed in evidence in chief or cross-examination or re-examination, it's evidence. Well, Nxumalo said he believes Advocate Mnisi will get to the evidence of Snako, and he's still going there. But right now, my colleague is leading the evidence of Zungu when he was being led by the state.
Preempting everything. I'm telling you, when you start preempting everything, you are in a very serious problem because things are not going your way. Mohoruzi, thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you for the membership that you added. Thank you. For the money. God bless you.
Thank you.
We've been seeing your contribution.
Thank you.
Let's press the like button.
So the judge said, okay, let's go on. Baloyi said it's important to refer to the totality of the evidence, but that is you telling your colleague how to conduct their cross-examination. And Mnisi asked about point 38 special. He said, I'm told I'm cutting corners, so I won't do that. He said, I thought that's not my approach. But according to the state, when Constable Zungu asked you about the point 38 special, he asked you if this would be the same firearm that was used in the shooting of Snako, because you told him that the firearm that was used in the shooting of Snako was thrown away in the river. GWABINI said he's telling lies. That means he said, what do you know about that Snako thing now that the state has introduced it? Or do you know anything about this Snako thing? And GWABINI said, there's nothing that I know about Snako. And Mnisi said, this is Constable Zungu saying in his oral testimony that when he got into your room with some of the accused and some of them talked amongst themselves, saying that there is that uncle. GWABINI said he told lies. Then Mnisi said he then further told the court that he was having his discussion with you about the firearm, which could not have been the firearm that was used in the shooting of Snako, the point 38 special that was thrown into the river. Accused number 2 went out of the room. GWABINI said he's telling lies. And he says he further asked you why you are carrying firearms. And GWABINI said he's lying. And you said, Uncle, I also told you to put your firearm here because I don't want all of you to be in possession of firearms. Well, GWABINI said he's lying. He said in the heat of the discussion, the door opened and accused number 5 entered. GWABINI said he was telling lies. Nisi then said he was wearing a black jacket, or accused number 5. And that is when accused number 5 entered. He did so with accused number 4, Mapisa. And GWABINI said those are lies.
Yes, guys, I can see also on my side it's buffering. You know what? I'm just going to say this. I don't know what is wrong with this internet. We start at 11. It buffers around 12. If we start at 12, it doesn't buffer.
It doesn't buffer at all. So he said you then requested him to give him space to speak in private with other people in the room. He told his court that he obliged and gave you space. And he said that when he went outside the room, he saw accused 2, Mr. Ntanzi, standing in a corner. And he said that accused 2 had changed his jacket from gray to black. He further told this court that accused number 2 then went into the same room. GWABINI said he's lying. He says he continued to sit in the main room while you were in the other room. And GWABINI said he's lying. He told the court when they came out of the room, you apologized to him for asking to be excused. And GWABINI said he's lying. He says you spoke to him when he leaves you, you must give accused 1 a lift. He's telling lies. He further said that he inquired to you about the whereabouts of Makosonke. Then you started to call around for Makosonke. He further told the court that when he was talking about the whereabouts of Makosonke, accused 1 asked Constable Zungu not to leave him behind when it was time for them to leave. Now Constable Zungu told the court that you told accused 1 that no, they would leave him because they still were waiting for Makosonke. You called Makosonke over the phone, who eventually arrived. He further told this court about Makosonke that you told him that Makosonke will no longer be living with him but will be staying behind. And GWABINI Hamanga, he's telling lies. And Mnisi said he further told to this court that while everyone was standing there, I assume he was in the common place. He told to the court that he saw accused number 1 taking out his red t-shirt and had a beer, and asked if you people have heard that Senzo Meyiwa is no more. GWABINI said it's all lies, he's lying. Nisi then said, I see you shaking your head. Are you tired? And GWABINI said, these lies being spoken here, they're draining me. Ute angkata mandla. Mangalawa.
That was done on purpose.
Well, Nisi said, what do you mean by that? And GWABINI said, the ones being told by Constable Zungu. And Nisi said, we understand how you could be feeling about them, but please try and assist the court best as you can, which can be amongst others trying to raise your voice. And he further told this court to Constable Zungu that after accused 1 had said whatever he said about you having heard about the death of Meyiwa, then he himself said to accused 1 that that cannot be correct. It means your sources are providing you with incorrect information. He said that he went outside to his vehicle and saw the keys were not there, and he came back to you and asked you about the whereabouts of the keys. He says you took out a phone and said, hey, these people are not answering the phone. GWABINI said he's lying. He further told this court that in an endeavor to try and find out where the keys were, you then left him next to his vehicle and got back to the hostel. And then you spoke to someone who, according to him, would have been related to accused number 4. You kept on saying to him, there's a person called Mzala that you were trying to call, but he was not answering his phone. He told this court further that eventually accused number 4 arrived and took out the keys from him, and they were Constable Zungu's car keys. GWABINI said he's telling lies. As he was preparing to leave, or just before he could leave, he told him that Makosonke would no longer be living with him. He further told this court that because Makosonke was no longer available to live with him, then he ultimately left accused number 1 and accused number 4 and 2 and other people whom he did not mention by their name. And GWABINI said he's telling lies. So after the long adjournment, Constable Zungu told the court in his evidence in chief that he ultimately left with accused number 1 and accused number 4 and 2 other people. He further told this court that as he was leaving in the company of those 2 people, you also walked them out and you turned at the gate after you saw people who were in a taxi or a kumbi. GWABINI said, it's all lies. He's telling lies. Mnisi then said, why are you saying all these things by Constable Zungu were lies? GWABINI said, my lord, the reason I keep saying he's lying, I didn't know Zungu. I didn't know him in 2014. I saw him while we were still young in 1998. So when he came with Makosonke to me in 2017, I was surprised. He has never even called me, ever. Mnisi then said, was there ever a time on the 26th of October 2014 when you invited him to the hostel? GWABINI said, may I repeat this? I never came across Zungu in 2014. I only saw him in 2017. The last time I saw him, I was doing my second year at Okay, I need to take a deep breath before I...
At what? What?
Kwasokeshani.
Kwasokeshani.
A school that he attended.
Hey.
Whew. Nisi then said, so all he said never took place. And GWABINI said, yes. GWABINI said in 2017, he saw Makosonke accused number 1 who came to him in Vosloorus, and they met at Gold Spot. They never told him that they were coming, and he said he was driving a bicycle at the time. He said he'd normally transport cases for people using a bicycle. So he said they were traveling with Constable Zungu's white polo, written B on the car registration, and that is to indicate that he is a police officer, or it's the vehicle belonging to the police. He said they met at Gold Spot. They greeted him. GWABINI said he was called by his brother, accused number 1. He was with them. So he was saying Boss Bia was with them at that Gold Spot. And that is where Sibia is saying he met Constable Zungu there for the very first time. At that Gold Spot, he was introduced to him there. He has shared part of this testimony. And he shouted at me, or telling me that they were there to visit me. He said, I asked, why did they not tell me that they were coming? Because the person whose number he had was Makosonke's. He did not have Zungu's number. They drove up to Overland to buy liquor by KFC, by the municipal area on the left. There is a shop called Overland. And GWABINI said, I went up, loaded the cases, and went down. And he said, when I got there, I dropped off the case. I was sent to a store called Kwamadala. I dropped off the cases. Then I went to my house because they did not know where I lived. The person who showed them where I lived was accused number 1. Oh, Sibia.
Like a brother. Like your brother. That's how you got entangled.
They had Heineken cans. He said that they were new in the market, those Heineken cans at the time. There was no whiskey. And GWABINI confirmed that they were, at the time, fashionable. After Mnisi asked him, they were fashionable at the time. And he was like, yeah, they were quite new in the market. So he said there were no carts. And Mnisi asked, what is Ugoloko? Because he kept mentioning the whiskey. Whiskey ki Goloko and it. GWABINI said that they were in possession of whiskey.
Whiskey and brandy.
Whiskey, brandy, and gin.
Yeah.
Goloko.
Goloko.
So yeah, Goloko is whiskey, guys. Earlier on the court, said that the beer Zungu was drinking is Jameson, and he asked, what is Goloko in Zulu? Even he wants to turn to the judge.
Let's press the like button, guys.
So GWABINI said yes, and Mnisi said okay. GWABINI said, I came back. My brother, accused number 1, then met me halfway and said, here are your family who've come to visit you inside your house. And as accused 1 was informing me, I went to the house. Then Constable Zungu was standing outside. He was smoking a cigarette, and the police vehicle he was driving was just parked in front of the house.
Was smoking his sins out.
Am I not your father? That's what he asked him. Am I Angsu Baba Wako, Mr. Nonta? He says, I called you at the Gold Spot and you did not attend to me. And Constable Zungu said, I told him at the time I had cases. I was about to greet him and I was on my way. He said, I entered the house, and when I entered there was Makosonke, Constable Zungu, and Tofan Dwandwe, and Sbia, then myself. He said we were 5 in total. Tovi. Sorry, my apologies. The time in which they arrived was in late afternoon. They didn't stay long. It was around 5 when they arrived. And by 6, the sun was starting to go down. Then he said that he's leaving. It's becoming dark. He said he's scared at the hostel. And when he left with Tova and Dwandwe, and GWABINI says that he cannot remember the month in 2017 when Constable Zungu, accused one Tofa, visited him. And he said when it was after 6 in the morning, Tofa and Dwandwe returned. And GWABINI said that when Tofa and Dwandwe came to me, he asked me, how is this relative of yours?
You know what? Are you going to say what I'm going to say? So that I let you say it?
I don't know what you're going to say.
What I'm going to say. Zungu's father complained about Zungu.
Meyiwa.
And then I so wish Mnisi let him say this hearsay, because there's this thing, man, that this man is doing. He left with a man, right?
Yes.
He left with the man. Then the man comes back and say, Unjana Malumak. Should you assessing information from the offendant?
Could be that he was still doing investigations.
Or something else.
He's just
there's this thing that when hey.
They shouldn't have blocked him. They should have just let that
preview. That preview.
And they're like, Baloyi got up and says,
view once, and then you object. It's okay.
View once. Nisi told GWABINI about hearsay, that in terms of the law in South Africa, hearsay is inadmissible in court. And in court, you only testify about those you had a personal experience with. Well, GWABINI said Muzi stayed behind at the hostel. Okay, Makosonke left with Tova and Constable Zungu. And when he left in 2017, Nisi asked Tovi.
Think of Nil
Tovi. Nisi then said, when he left in 2017, when again did you see him? And GWABINI said it was 2019. They met at Ehlazini, a hostela in Tembisa. Ehlanzini. So Mnisi then said, how did you meet? What was the occasion there? And GWABINI said, Ehlanzini, they were watching Ingoma, Sasbugi Ingoma. There was a song by Shaman. He said he called Sbia, and Shaman is one of the artists. I'm assuming. He said I called Sbia and asked where he was told. Where, and he told him that I was at Ehlanzini, and he said he was busy. In Ehlanzini, he said he told him that he was inside the hostel. So he said it was them, that includes himself, Mr. Zwane, Danku, and Kule, and Constable Zungu, along with another gentleman.
Is that the same Kule?
Which Kule?
Was it Kule?
Was it Kule mentioned before?
I was not part of the guys who attempted to shoot.
Shoot who?
The so-called Zungu constable.
I don't recall. I recall
Nkazimulo. And who?
I only recall Nkazimulo.
Okay.
But it could be because Nkazimulo was not alone in that car, according to the version of Constable Zungu. So you could have heard right. So he said GWABINI met Constable Zungu again in 2019. They were going to their aunt's wedding. Aunt Dev, he was with with this gentleman he was usually with at Ehlanzini. And Mnisi asked him, was there another period when you saw him? And GWABINI said he had not seen him up until he got arrested. And he said he was arrested in 2020. The wedding took place at MJ Nikwasbia Osutu in Kwanongoma. That was the last time that he saw Constable Zungu in 2019, and he never saw him again. Even now, he has not seen him. So Mnisi then asked him that normally when the police do investigations and they come across a witness who says something that mentions another person, the other person being mentioned by witness will be approached by the police in order to get their side of the story. That is just the normal process. And he said, we don't want to get into your personal issues, but what were the circumstances of your arrest? Only tell us if it is relevant to this case. Well, GWABINI said, yes, it is. And Mnisi said, I want you to take this court through that. Mnisi said that in what month did this arrest happen? GWABINI said it was June 2020. His brother was arrested on 30th of May 2020, was he not?
He was.
Then June, he's also getting arrested. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Nisi asked for the date, but GWABINI said he doesn't know. He's from home and received a call from accused one, and he said to him that they're asking, when are you coming back from home? So he's saying his brother, Usbia, had just gotten arrested. And then he gets a phone call. And his brother is asking him over the phone, when are you coming back this side? Okay? And he said that, when he asked him what happened, they then took the phone from him. And then his phone was off. He tried calling back because it was an MTN number. He said it didn't go through. He said, I arrived here on Monday. The house where I do the cooking is not the same area where I sleep. Nisi then said, I then arrived. So we're going to assume that the people that were making Sibia call his brother were the police. So he said between and
nasty people.
The very same police who denied having access to his phone, having his phone, whatever, they were just denying everything. But now, finding out from GWABINI that a phone call was made, and just before he could respond, they took the phone away from him. So between 11 and 12, the door was kicked. They referred to it as 1, and they inquired about me and said, am I 2 or am I at 2? They came and kicked the door and damaged it. They mentioned that they were looking for GWABINI. And Mnisi asked, do you know who kicked the door? GWABINI said he was sleeping. And Mnisi said, and you heard them asking for you. You are saying that there was an inquiry outside about your whereabouts, and then what happened? Ginida said they entered the house. I was sleeping in and kicked the door. One of them belongs to Skakani from Duba. They broke the door and then they broke down my door. That time I had switched on my light. They entered my room and asked if I'm GWABINI, and I'm, they were with a white gentleman and had something, a screen. He said they used that screen to press it on his chest. So Mnisi then said, so he put in there, and then GWABINI said I was lying down and I got up. I got to bed. He said he goes to bed naked, and they found him in that state and they put handcuffs on him. Police. Oh, this thing, I'm putting it in my head. They broke into another person's room to get to the room that GWABINI was in. You know how there are some places or flats where you literally have to walk past another person's room to get to the other room. It seems like this residence is also like that. So Mnisi then said, did you open the door or they kicked it? GWABINI said they kicked it. He said even now the door is still damaged. Mnisi said they'll probably ask for an inspection in local once again. And he said, now, did they introduce themselves? GWABINI said they didn't. And Mnisi said, you said the white man put a gadget on your chest. GWABINI said, yes. You said when you sleep, you prefer to wear nothing. GWABINI said, yes. And when they had already put cuffs on me, they realized that I was naked and they started calling each other by names. What names did you hear? Now Mnisi is asking. GWABINI said he heard my Bena, who has a hoarse voice or had a hoarse voice.
Yes, it's out.
Buthelezi and a gap.
But the interpreter didn't say that.
Buthelezi and Mapumulo, who came and put a firearm
Was that the same
under
Mapumul?
the mattress. Yes, it's the same one.
The one who arrived? So he's part of the gang. The one who couldn't answer was a bit stubbornish.
Yes, it's him. Nisi then said, let's concentrate on the names. GWABINI said the other names, I don't know. He said he put on his underwear and overall and tried to put on the slippers, but then they advised him not to put on those shoes. Rather, he must put on closed shoes. And then GWABINI said they then put me in a vehicle. There were lots of cars, but he remembers this one red car. They then searched and took watches and asked me what I would say if that watch belonged to the deceased. Nisi said, who said those words? And GWABINI said it was Mabena, who had a harsh voice. GWABINI then said, I said to them, it's not possible. That's mine. And then Nisi said that, did he tell you who this deceased was that the watch belonged to? GWABINI said that he never asked which deceased they were talking about. He was shocked at the number of police that were there. Then
Same
what happened? Modus operandi, right? And then they still believe that those confessions were done freely and voluntarily. These people, they work like this. This is how they perform their duties. Okay. Nisi then said, then what happened in the room? And GWABINI said they slapped me with an open hand. And Nisi said, are you saying one person slapped you? And GWABINI said, I will never forget, it was Mapumulo. And you said that Mapumulo was trying to squeeze a firearm. Tell this court about what happened there. And GWABINI said he put it in there. Mabena said, let's not leave without searching. Where did they try to squeeze in this firearm? Nisi asked. GWABINI said, under the mattress. Then they said this is what they were looking for. So they put a firearm. This is GWABINI's version. They put a firearm under his mattress. Right? And then they said, they went back again. This is what we were looking for. And now I understand Kwanazi when he said with that case of the correctional facility at Mpangeni, he told them to conduct that arrest properly and take the stuff to the lab and get it tested to see if that correctional facility person had touched it and all of that because of stuff like this. What is this? He said there's no way I can come all the way from home having received a call from Muzi, having been arrested. I don't know why he was arrested. And then I came all the way with a firearm. GWABINI said that when he was asking that what they were doing with that firearm, Mapumulo responded with a smack. Pah!
Confusion. It's making the confusion out of you.
Hey, Baloyi then
Inside
objected
you,
at this point. He said, how is this relevant to the charges that the accused is facing? This is completely new evidence that is put on record. This evidence should not be allowed. It doesn't help the court to determine the issues that are in dispute.
Jeez, bro.
Well, you are denying that the police officers that are angels that you love so much are capable of such. And GWABINI is saying they are very much capable of that. So it is very much relevant, especially if he was also arrested by the very same police officers who came to this court and testified and pleaded innocence and said they read rights and they did everything according to procedure. Here's another person saying that did not happen to me. That was not my experience of these police officers. So it's very much relevant. So he said that Nisi responded and said, this takes us back to this. This is a similar objection to when Zungu Senior was testifying. Nisi said that they had the expectation that at any time prior to the closing of the case or the state's case, the witness would have been called to come and testify as a state witness. He said we were warned and we complied to the warning that we should not even come near the state witnesses. In fact, we do not even know who they were. He said, we complied with the warning. We traced these witnesses and found them and found that they are indeed relevant. The state now says that the version of this witness was not put to the state witnesses to respond to. How could we have done that when we were warned that we should not come near them? If the state feels that there's a version that they would like to respond to, they can make an application to reopen the case. He said it has to be a substantive application. The judge told Mnisi to proceed. GWABINI said then they took the firearm and put it in a shiny plastic bag. They then took me with them. Mnisi said, which firearm did they put in a plastic bag? GWABINI said it was a small one. Small one. Sounds like a revolver, doesn't it?
I doubt it was.
Small one.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. A small one.
Did they book it in?
I don't know. I would like to know what happened to this case. What happened?
You know what? I think the statement of Zung was long taken at that time, no?
They never took a statement. They talked to Zungu. They were
Yeah.
getting feedback from Zungu.
So, like, they were role-playing what Zung was giving them.
But if Zungu, they believed in his testimony, then why put firearms in
No,
mattresses?
they were playing what Zung was saying.
Or they were playing.
They were making sure it happens.
Oh.
If Zung said there was a link with Snako and GWABINI, then they will bring you a revolver. If so, what I'm saying, whatever the so-called statement that Zung made later, it was actually made long time ago. I think it was just sitting there.
Well, Nisi said that, did they ever say we're arresting you for this? GWABINI said they informed him at 4 after beating him at the police station. They never said anything. He said he was cuffed at the back. He even demonstrated how he was cuffed. He was treated like a suspect. He was placed in the vehicle, and the other vehicle belonged to the traffic cops.
In line with the section 204 of BALOYI, right?
We are also seeing the EMPD with GWABINI's arrest as well. The traffic cops. He said as they were driving, they showed him photos of Sibiya's sisters and asked him if he knew them. He said there were 3 people in that car with him. He also mentioned a red Golf 7 that he saw. And he could not remember the name of the person who was driving that vehicle. He is a short gentleman with a big belly and has a big head. Well, he eventually said it's Mohani. BALOYI said that the accused whispered that name to the witness. I don't know that. I cannot support that. Or I did not
We didn't even pick it out from
I
the
did not
mic.
see even the microphone. I did not pick. I usually hear whispers.
But the judge
I
believes.
did not pick up
The
anything.
judge believes because in his mind, everyone who comes there and say anything against the state is threatened.
And he's being consistent with this made-up belief of his. He did it with Buthelezi from Rustenburg, the one who was staying with Ntanzi at Rustenburg, right? He did it and said because he changed his testimony towards the end there, he was sympathizing with Ntanzi and everything about what had happened with his arrest. And at the time, he had no clue that Ntanzi was going through so much. And now he was speaking, like a person who now saw a better picture, judging from his own experience of being arrested. The judge translated that to say that he was threatened to change his testimony.
That man.
And then happened the incident of accused number 5 when Zungu was on the stand testifying with him doing the
Scriptophone.
And then the judge also took that as well and said, you know what? I have been noticing that in this court, people are being threatened while they're on the witness. Well, he said it's not the first time. It's true. People are told that they will be cutting their necklaces. I mean, look, what did this happen? When did this happen? And others are told to buy belligerent facial muscular warnings to change the evidence. To change the evidence. I swear to God, this judge lives in his own world. He will make up something and stick to it. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says. He said he's used to it. He then asked for the time.
And he does these things and then he wants to adjourn.
Yes, and then he wants to adjourn. He doesn't want to be corrected, or he doesn't want for further investigations to be done. I mean, if that was what was said and what happened, the microphones could have picked something up.
Even BALOYI is saying someone is telling him that.
Amen. BALOYI is saying someone is telling him that. So no investigations, nothing. Just that statement going into record, which is not even tested. You have a moment to test it, but you're not doing it. You want to adjourn.
Exactly.
Hi, yeah, guys, that's it from me.
Because asenza ama-calls fast ne asibone ukuthi nizothini. Sesiqedile thina. We are done. Let's hear from you guys. Two maximum of 2 minutes each person, if you can. It's a lot of you today. The lights are gonna be buzzing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's press the like button.
I'm happy GWABINI came to testify.
Let's press the like button, please.
It's been many years of waiting.
Let's press that like button like we mean it. We are pushing for 500. It's happening. You know, people are seeing things. People are hearing things. Let's call. The WhatsApp number is 071 153 7006. 07, both for calls and one for direct calls. WhatsApp, yes, 071 153 7006. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Siyanbona ehlanzeni. Siyanbona. Let's press the like button while we are at it. The judge, he thinks he's smart, but he's olden days, not this time. But to say, it's been a while. You know, it's been a while. He's still thinking, hey, I'm still the ish. Yes, let's hear the first call. Mzansi, hello.
Hi, good morning, Susan. Dinisano.
Morning.
Good. I've got 2-3 points here. The state prosecutor goes up, stands up, he says, this guy is a Section 204 witness. He's our Section 204 witness. But if he is a Section 204, why didn't you call him to come here and corroborate what Constable Zungu said? Why didn't you call him? Yeah, now he's here. Now you want to give us an attitude on one he's here. They always try to make sure a person that doesn't go never sees the light of God. That's one. And then two, the GWABINI is trying to explain that I was arrested. And prosecutor stands up and says, this evidence is not really relevant. After the guy said I was arrested in relation to this case, he says it's not relevant. How is that not relevant? It is. We also want to know, because Brigadier never mentioned anything that way. GWABINI was arrested, nothing. It's just a bomb that is just floating now on your list. Huh? Even GWABINI was also arrested. It was also the suspect that the judge was looking for that day. That's allegedly, but that's okay. And then my question is, before I go, is there any evidence that Constable Zungu was in force in October of 2014?
No.
No, we've been following this case. And the only thing that I can think of is when he tried to push himself into a picture that you are saying, I think it's me because of these legs. That was the only thing, man.
Yes.
And now, remember the judge said the guy is honest, his evidence is in the section 173 application of accused. So he says, Zungu, the constable was right there. And now I'm asking myself, what is the evidence that shows that Constable Zungu was enforced in October of 2014? The answer is no. And then, before I go, 2 minutes, Mr. Congratulations to Mr. Miss for deceiving all of us. For Miss XX, we were all waiting for Miss XX that it was a good move. Because if these guys had told the judge and the prosecutor on Friday that GWABINI is coming, we would not have started with GWABINI today. Yeah. It's a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think it must continue giving this. I applied into that the state will be confused. Because I saw the judge when they were swearing GWABINI, saying, as Mr. Zungu also wrote in GWABINI. The judge was surprised. That guy was surprised. I saw his face. I said, this guy is surprised. He said, what is your first name? The guy had already treated them Jesus Zungu, but they're asking them, what is your name? Come on, man. The guy is there. Deal with him. So I was waiting for GWABINI. That is a good move from the defense. From Zungu, we will go to the Zungu Junior, this one. Yes. And then you demystify Constable's witness. And then once we deal with this Constable's evidence and discredit it, we will go to the Brigadier's evidence and also discredit it. And then we are done.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Pretty much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Right. You guys don't want to say anything. Have we said everything that you guys want to cover? We've covered everything. Is that so? And if that is the case, it is good to get a bit of resting. It is always welcome. We appreciate it. If you guys do that, we do appreciate it. And let's press the like button, though. I see 462 for 742. It's a lot of people, but they don't want to call.
Maybe they are tired.
You guys are as tired as we are? Right. If that is the case, we are almost there, Mr. Ano, to reach 500. Yes. Yes, Lee Boshoman. Yes. We are almost there. Chuku, Advocate Nisi is very brave, man. Is killing them softly. Colin Love, press the like button. Yes, guys, please do press the like button. Is dealing with them. Gamnan, Pumlan, Mahaya. Mr. 50 years, Jameson. They've added the name Tavern is something else. Yes, Mr. 50 years, Jameson Tavern is something else. Oh, that's a unique name. Chris Love Udurata is Chris Love. Give nje lapho angeke ngisasho lutho. Give nje lapho. Introduce this tone. He gave them the clue on the clan names and they did not listen. BALOYI. Yes, he did. Do you remember? Remember I said Umnis is giving the clue of who's coming next. Do you remember that part where he wanted Uzungu the senior to say the button totem?
Yes. Yes, you did. Mr. Anonymous did. Picked it up, Fati. What is the clan for Zungu?
We are right. He gave them the clue. They just didn't catch it.
And then the BALOYI objected and said, what is the relevance to
of this? As much as we would like to...
you missed that clue!
As much as we would like to
you should have just let him speak and say GWABINI. And then you're like,
he missed the clue right there. He missed the clue right there. But I had a feeling that was a clue actually of who's coming next. That's why he wanted him to say GWABINI. And then GWABINI was gonna come.
But then Advocate BALOYI being the
objective BALOYI was like, as much as we would like to have that, my lord, with that fake smile. That smile is so fake. Yeah, but in any case, guys, thank you very much for being with us here. Press your like button as you come in, as you go out. Please do so. Make sure that it is pressed. If it's not pressed, please press it. If it's pressed already, don't press it because we are removing it. Don't press
it once.
Press it once. Yeah,
and then you dance it.